28. So as we get ready to head into our second half and our next talk, we're going to talk about new coaches. So we've talked about coaches that haven't been hired. Now we have other coaches that are on the move, excuse me, making multiple teams. So who is your coach that has a new coaching job that you feel like is the best bet to lead that new job into the future?
So I'm going to start out with Dan Campbell, the Detroit Lions hire. And I am not sure. This is either going to be a big win for them or a big bust for them. I don't know if anybody got a chance to watch his press conference upon hiring, but he is different. He has got a really crazy way of going about things. He's really bold. His nameplate on his office at the stadium says head coach / the dude. He's super cool. He's super fun. Like I said, it's either going to be a huge win for them or a big bust. He's going into Detroit with this. We're down in the dumps. This is Detroit, but you can't keep us down. We're going to rise again and take a chunk out of your kneecap, and you're going to kick us down again, and we're going to take another chunk out of your other kneecap. He has got this mentality that they're rising from the ashes. So I think if everybody in Detroit kind of gets behind that and rolls with it, it could be a really big win for Detroit, which I know Luke and I are not super excited about because that is in our division. But yeah, I'm rolling with Dan Campbell. It's either going to be a big bust or a big win for Detroit because that guy he's a little crazy and I'm here for it.
They definitely need crazy up in Detroit. Luke, your coaching take.
All right. Well, first, let me switch hats real quick. Going to show off a little bias here for my pick. I'm sure you guys will already know right off the bat, but looking through the research, make an unbiased perspective on who will be the best coach to lead the franchise in the future. And for this coach, it's not going to be it's not going to be like it's going to happen overnight, but it's going to take about multiple years, like 3 to 4 years to get a groove going and get to the playoffs and hopefully get to the Super Bowl. And that person is Urban Meyer. He even said himself, it had to be the perfect fit. If he did not have the number 1 pick in the draft, if he did not have $100 million in salary cap room to sign free agent players and to sign draft players, and along with the homecoming in Florida and the first coach hired out of all the coaching vacancies in the NFL, he wouldn't have taken the job. I listened to a video interview of the head Jacksonville Jaguars radio person. I forgot what his name was, but he interviewed Kirk Herbstreit, whom we all know from College Game Day, and he was a former college quarterback from Ohio State. He actually met Urban Meyer when Urban Meyer was a graduate assistant there. He knows a lot personally about him, and he even said that he knows he can win there, and he doesn't need the money. And that the unique situation, it's, again, as I mentioned, it's a unique situation that he couldn't pass on. And it's interesting how he pointed out that there's NFL coaches filtering from the NFL to college and vice versa, depending on how successful they can be. And the interesting challenge with him is that he needs to find an offense, a guy that revolves around with the number 1 pick. A lot of sources are saying it's Trevor Lawrence, that would fit into that college quarterback style in an NFL offense in today's game. Similar to like Patrick Mahomes style, where he can rack up points just like that. And he is also relentless to win, as he cannot recruit high school players, but he could potentially, whatever it is, how he could recruit players in free agency, it might be different. He has to make some adjustments here or there, but he would be relentless to win with equal to less talented NFL players. And a recent coaching hire that he made himself, one of the first hires, is a former Ohio State linebacker from 2003 to 2005, was Anthony Schlegel. And he's the new strength and conditioning coach there. And previously, he was on a radio station in Columbus, Ohio, just talking about football. But he was also the assistant strength and conditioning coach at Ohio State when I was there. And a little fun story about him, there was some Ohio State hooligan who ran on the field. All of a sudden, Anthony Schlegel comes up to him and just body slams him. So having that relentless mentality and that motivation, even just body slam a hooligan and have security and take him out of the stadium, props to Urban Meyer for what he's doing. But that is what I believe, that Urban Meyer will succeed in his time in the NFL with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Thank you, Luke. I never knew there was someone who could love a coach more than I love Matt Kafka, but it is showed that your love for Anthony Schlegel has no bounds. And I hurt for when they tackled that guy, because I might have been that guy running on the field, but I've never been to Columbus, Ohio.
Hey, I saw that game live too. I saw it happen.
I bet it was awesome. All right, Connor.
It was great.
So we have curb stomping and kicking people in the knee. We have tackling people in Columbus, Ohio. We're just making all types of moves here with head coaches. Who do you have?
We're gonna go from the one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum here. I love what the Jets did in hiring Robert Saleh to be their head coach, former defensive coordinator for the 49ers. This season, the 49ers got hit with a rash of injuries, which, you can, even outside of a COVID year, it's always, if you're the team that gets injured, there's not much you can do about that. He has a ton of work to do. Luke, you might enjoy following the Jets more so, especially if they end up drafting Justin Fields and maybe sending Sam Darnold on his way. But I think that Robert Saleh has come from a place with good infrastructure and can bring that same mentality of, here's what a head coach does, here's what a GM does, here's what an owner does. He does come from the defensive side of the ball, but you know what? John Lynch, GM for the 49ers, is a defensive guy. Even though Kyle Shanahan, the head coach, was an offensive guy, you don't have to be one side of the ball or another side of the ball necessarily to be successful. So I've got a lot of confidence in Robert Saleh just because of where he's coming from in San Francisco.
All right, Connor with the difficult one to be successful pick, taking over a Jets team that is rough. We'll move on to our next topic. From the comments, Anna Marie says she's here watching the show, not because of me, but because Emily is her hero for being out here on our